what you sometimes our people disagree with you, but I mean, I understand some of your approach. I mean, sometimes we take a hard bite. It helps us as politicians.
Nowadays, when I listen to you, I even panic.
Why?
Hey,
Why do you panic?
The way you, Papa, you know Papa.
Figuratively, he bites as hard as he can.
Okay.
And of course, when he puts his fangs into you, you certainly feel it. I think it pretty.
Watch Johnny's bite.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Wednesday. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. We continue in our Lent fast in the holy month of Ramadan. We pray for strength and a clean heart to be able to pray for our motherland Ghana and for all of ourselves. This morning, there's a subject matter that I have spoken about before. Yesterday, somebody else raised it because I had seen an underage person who, upon further investigation, I found out that he wasn't up to the age of 18. That's what I mean by underage person. So naturally, he is not supposed to be behind a steering wheel to be driving. But I saw this underage person riding an aboboya, the tricycles that are used to convey stuff. You know, the itinerant rubbish collectors use it. You would find people cutting mineral water or pure water, sachet water with it. You will find all manner of, people riding it to conduct their businesses. And I have had cause to complain about the fact that most of them don't have headlights or rear lights. They just get up and they are riding. So if you're coming to work at dawn and you are not so vigilant, you may just crash into some. And I've seen so many of that happen on my way to work. Now, the perhaps annoying thing about it, because I don't see a proper regulatory attempt. The annoying thing about it is that most of the people who have these aboboyas are not able to repair your vehicle if they destroy them. So eventually, you get people, sorry, I have a bad cold, so forgive me. But you get people engaged in pity party, and then you are asked to let go. I've seen that happen many times. Now, yesterday what I saw pricked my mind. Before you drive a vehicle in this town, in this Ghana, you need to go to the DVLA through a driving school for you to be able to get the appropriate authorization or the license for you to operate that machine or the vehicle. And even the licenses have grades. The DVLA recently has released, how much it will cost for you to renew a license or to get a certain service from them. So if you deal with a DVLA staff that collects more than what is agreed, then you are free to report them. Otherwise, if you deal with a guru boy or girl, you would have yourself to blame. But I digress. I come back to the point that before you sit behind a steering wheel in this country, you need to get a license. In fact, if you don't have a license and you drive around town in a vehicle, the police will arrest you and take you to the motor court. And the laws will deal with you. So now the question is, people ride motorbikes in this country, and in most of the cases, you find out that they don't have licenses. And some of the plates that they are using are fake. The number plates, they are fake. And then I have reason to believe, if I I see an underage person who's just around 15, 16, riding an aboboya in the evening with the lights off, I have reason to believe that we do not have a certain licensing regime for them. And I may be wrong, but I stand to be corrected. I want to know which driving school in this country actually trains people to ride motorbikes or aboboya. I want to know. Because they are using the streets with people who must get roadworthy certificates, with people who must have their licenses, with people who must have insurance. I doubt if the aboboyas have insurance. I doubt if most of the motorbikes on the road have insurance. And yet, the most dangerous accidents in this country are caused by them. If we all agree that we want to use that as an official means of transportation, then we must get them to be regularized. If we all think that we want to use them, aboboyas and tricycles, as a means of transportation, then we must get them properly regularized and controlled. Because the impudence of power, where everybody just gets up because they can ride a motorbike, they ride aboboyas, and you find that sometimes they are even training people on the highway on how to ride these aboboyas. No, if I'm telling lies, you tell me. It may be an avenue for their daily bread. I'm not against people getting their daily bread. I am just saying that if that's the way we want to go, let's properly put in measures to regulate their activities. Sometimes, just before you know it, some aboboya has done some U-turn that is not, correct, some by heart U-turn. Just before you know it, they appear from nowhere, from a pedestrian walkway and straight onto the highway. And it's a real big, big mess. So this morning, my brother at DVLA, Nikwe, good morning to you. Maybe I don't know. But is there a driving school in this country that trains people on how to ride motorbikes and aboboya? If there is, share with us. And if there is not, I think you should start insisting that before anybody gets a license, and some of them have, some of them don't have, before anybody gets a license to ride an aboboya and motorbike, they must come to the DVLA and get a license through the same driving schools that everybody is supposed to go through. And if they do not have, and the police find them, find a way to partner with them through the MTTD, Alex Obeng and his fantastic team, and let them deal with the issues. Because it's becoming one too many. Now, we will get to the betting tax. I know you are itching. We'll talk about betting tax. Yesterday, I spoke about the CLOSAG strike. And I mentioned to you that this is perhaps there's one letter there. This is perhaps one of the strikes that CLOSAG has embarked upon that is people think that it is the strike they have been. It is not me. So there's a press release that was issued. And they specifically asked one of my colleagues to forward it to me. So I'll read it to you in full. It's just a one-pager. And then we'll get to betting tax. Local Government Service Workers Union of Trades Union Congress, Ghana National Secretariat. They say this was dated on the 20th of February, 2025. And it says, all members, decision not to participate in strike action. Together, we have achieved great victories for workers in the local government service. It is in this shared spirit that we reach our members across the country to make an urgent and clear statement regarding the recent declaration of strike action by a sister union, CLOSAG. The Local Government Service Workers Union of TUC believes that this industrial action does not reflect the present pressing priorities of our members. It is important to recall that in 2022, CLOSAG filed a suit at the High Court challenging the appointment of Mrs. Henrietta Lamte as Registrar of the Births and Deaths Registry. The High Court is yet to deliver judgment in that case, and as a union, we believe that Until its final determination, negotiations and further engagements can help resolve the current concerns raised in the appointment of the registrar. For these reasons, and upon further consultations by the National Management Committee with all regional councils, the Local Government Service Workers Union of TUC has taken a unanimous decision not to join this strike action, and we hereby strongly urge all members and staff across the various MMDAs, regional coordinating councils, and the Office of the Local Government Service to continue with work as normal. Comrades, the needs of our members and staff of the Local Government Service nationwide are clear and urgent. 1. The fight for an enhanced salary structure for staff of the Local Government Service. And 2, unabated fight for better working conditions for staff of the Local Government Service. We will, as a union, continue to prioritize and put our energies into advocating for an equitable and enhanced salary structure. Tangible gains that will benefit every worker under the Local Government Service. Together, let us conserve and channel our efforts towards the battles ahead. Thank you. Signed by Christopher Abuka, his General Secretary of the Local Government Service Workers Union of TUC, and in solidarity, there's Engineer Moses Awenkanab Awarikaru. He's the National Chairman of the Local Government Service Workers Union of TUC. So there you have it. The people who constitute the bigger group coming out to say we are not interested in this strike. That is they are not interested. And they said no, they have abandoned the leadership of law. And they say, look, they would wait for the court. In the meantime, the individual that CLOSAC filed the suit against successfully completed the tenure until this new person has been put there. But we'll wait for the court because the court is the final arbiter. Now, let's talk about this betting tax thing. Yesterday, the finance minister, Dr. Kaisel Atuforsen, announced, as many had predicted and expected, that the betting tax, COVID levy, e-levy, emissions tax were all going to go away. And true to his words and true to the promises that were made by the NDC at the time in opposition during the campaign period, that was mentioned in Parliament. What it means is that if Parliament goes through the debate for this budget and they approve the budget, those taxes will be abolished or will be scrapped. Let's hear the finance minister, shall we?
Speaker, despite our commitment to increase the non-oil tax revenue by 0.6%, we have programmed the following nuisance taxes for removal in line with our manifesto promise. Mr. Speaker, we will abolish the 10% withholding tax on winning from lottery, otherwise known as the betting tax. Mr. Speaker, we will abolish the electronic transfer levy, e-levy, of 1%. Mr. Speaker, we will abolish the 10% withholding tax on betting. We will abolish the electronic transfer levy, e-levy of 1%. We will abolish the emission levy, otherwise as a Wusie tax. We will abolish the VAT on motor vehicle insurance policy. Mr. Speaker, we will abolish the 1.5% withholding tax on unprocessed gold by small-scale miners. Mr. Speaker, the removal of these taxes will ease the burden on households and improve their disposable income.
So that was our finance minister, Dr. Kaisel Atuforsen, presenting the first budget of the second coming of John Dramani Mahama as President of the Republic. for the 2025 fiscal year. Soon after this presentation, the former finance minister, Dr. Amin Adam, came and held a press conference within the presence of Parliament. And he had this to say about what the finance minister said. Listen.
Betting tax that they said they have abolished. We never collected betting tax. We never implemented the betting tax. So to come and tell Ghanaians that you have abolished something that was not implemented is to deceive the people of Ghana. Betting tax that they said they have abolished. We never collected betting tax. We never implemented the betting tax. So to come and tell Ghanaians that you have abolished something that was not implemented is to deceive the people of Ghana.
And I like the confidence that Dr. Amin Adam spoke. I mean, he spoke with a lot of confidence. So soon after he had said this, people, or what they call on the streets, investors, people who watch these football matches, Premier League, UEFA, whatever it is, the Champions League, they watch all these football matches and invest their monies into it. They came back and said, when we win, there are deductions. So what were those deductions really about? Then the former finance minister comes back on social media. And this was the rebuttal, or if you like, the explanation. Some have called it damage control, whatever it is that you want to call it. I'm just presenting the issues to you, the videos to you, so that you will make your own judgment. He says, NDC's deception. 1, emissions tax. This was not implemented, and so it cannot be abolished. 2, betting tax. The tax applies to lottery wins and betting wins. What the minister said he's abolishing is the lottery wins, which knowingly or unknowingly he called it betting tax. We have never collected the tax on lottery wins, so it cannot be abolished. This is what the minister said in the budget. We will abolish the 10% withholding tax on winnings from lottery, otherwise known as betting tax. 3, VAT on motor vehicle. There is no VAT on motor vehicles insurance being collected currently. It cannot be abolished. So he literally debunked it. But there's a former Director General of the National Lottery Authority, my friend as well, Zan MP for Ekuapem North, Mr. Samuel Uku, Esquire. He had spoken in the past about this whole betting tax thing. I want you to listen to him too. Please, play.
Let me use this opportunity, friends of the media, to also address, I think, an interview that I granted on Monday to a station about the betting tax, which people didn't understand my context. I was speaking in my capacity as Director General of NLA. What happens in another sector, I don't know. But I can speak about my sector. The lottery and betting tax. Currently at the NLA, we haven't been able to start. We are in negotiation and discussion with Ministry of Finance and the Ghana Revenue Authority. So lottery operators are not deducting the 10% because of the modalities that we haven't finalized. We made a pitch with the Ministry of Finance and the Minister for Finance and made the same argument to government and GRA that our industry has been robbed by a large arena of illegal operators. So if we do not embark on an exercise to sanitize the system, the very few who have been licensed by us, their business will go down because the illegals, you don't know them. They will not be deducting the 10%. But the few good ones we have licensed who will be deducting the 10%. That means their business is going down, because the public will end then choosing the illegal operators over the legal operators. Number 2, the NLA is owned by government. We contribute to good causes. We pay into consolidated fund. So we made an appeal to government, GRA, and Ministry of Finance that going forward, as we're having discussions, maybe we can have a common ground where the NLA that is still owned by government wouldn't be taxing itself by the same government that owns it. We know we are in extraordinary times. And we are determined as an authority to also assist the government and assist the public for us to raise the needed revenue. So this was the context that I spoke. Whatever happens in the casinos, in the betting arena, that is not.
That's Mr. Samuel Uku, former Director General of the National Lottery Authority. But you know that in the heat of the campaign, the 2024 campaigns, both the NDC's flag bearer and the MPP's flag bearer, that's John Mahama, H.E. John Dramani Mahama, H.E. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, they both said they will cancel e-levy, emissions tax, betting tax, COVID levy. You remember that, right? Now, back in the day, we're even told by persons who were leading the charge in terms of communicating for the MPP's flag bearer at the time and the party, that the flag bearer at the time had opposed the imposition of the betting tax, but cabinet disagreed with him, and so they went ahead to collect. You don't remember? Please play Dr. Bawumia's video. And that's my good friend, Dennis Miracles Abwaji. So in the heat of the campaign, he says, no betting tax. And he works from the presidency. He worked from the presidency, by the way. He said, no, Charlie, no betting tax. Your mind for day, give Bawumia. So he was the one who came to tell us, one of the people who came to tell us that Dr. Bawumia disagreed with the betting tax at cabinet. But cabinet said, no, we will go ahead with it. It is on record. He had said it, and it is on tape. So now, the question is, what did Dr. Bawumia say then? Please play the video.
My government will provide a tax amnesty. The new policies that I am proposing to implement in 2025 will give us the fiscal space to eliminate some taxes, such as the proposed VAT on electricity, if they are still on the books, the emissions tax and the betting tax, without compromising our fiscal deficit.
No, let's hear it again, please. Let's hear it again.
Provide a tax. My government will provide a tax amnesty. The new policies that I am proposing to implement in 2025 will give us the fiscal space to eliminate some taxes, such as the proposed VAT on electricity, if they are still on the books, the emissions tax and the betting tax, without compromising our fiscal.
So that was Dr. Bawumia then. Now, if you compare this to what the former finance minister said, that we never collected it, and so you cannot abolish what had not been implemented, questions start running through your mind. So who was collecting the monies? And where were the monies going? And what was the real purpose of collecting the monies, those monies? Because the head of the economic management team couldn't have gotten it wrong by saying that he will abolish those taxes. And mind you, this was at the height when people say that he would be a follow back, or for want of a better expression, a puppet in the hands of former President Akufo-Addo if he does win the presidency. So he came to say that he will be his own man, and that he is even bringing reforms and changes contrary to what he had been vice president of. Now, let's go to the Ghana Revenue Authority. What did they have to say then when this raging conversation started? And mind you, some persons within government at the time, including Honorable Abdul Sari, who was standing next to the current finance minister, she was deputy finance minister. She's also on tape to have said that, look, they want even the betting tax to be increased from, I think, 10% to 15% or so. Professor Stephen Adai, he said same. There are many who were of the view that, look, we have to increase it to discourage the young people from the investors, as they call them on the streets, from getting in there. But let's go to the GRA 6. Take me to the GRA. Let's hear from the GRA.
The betting will have two stream of taxes. So we have the gross gaming revenue tax, then we have the withholding tax. For the first month that we implemented, we got average for the GGR, average about 20 million a month for Mercedes, 20 million. Then for the gaming, we've started for the withholding, we've just started the season, the betting season. So the lean season, we're doing around 15 million cities. We're hoping this will quadruple in the major season, and the major season for the betting is from this month up to May. So maybe when we get to December, we'll be able to give you the expected. We will be able to project the expected revenue.
15 million. 15 million. That was what the head of domestic tax at the GRA, Mr. Jamra, that was what he told us when the conversations were raging. I just want to give you a full understanding of what the issues are. Now, there's a respected tax consultant in this country called Michael Flew. When he heard what the finance minister said, he got agitated. Now, there's a GRA document, right? It's a document. I want you to put it up there. Shadrach, just this last one. I want you to put it up there. This is the Ghana Revenue Authority's tax revenue performance for selected tax types. The Ghana Revenue Authority tax revenue performance for selected tax types. Years of assessment, tax type, the years are there, and the total of what was made. Read along with me. E-levy, we got nothing from it in 2021. But in 2022, when we insisted that we will pass it, and they cannot do anything about it. If they think it's going to make us unpopular, we will pass it. When we pass e-levy, we can pay our contractors, we can fix our roads, we can provide employment for the young people, we can do this, we can do that, we sell all manner of things. E-levy was literally the Akobam tax that was in this country. And we're still waiting for the 11 million jobs. But in 2022, we made 353,295 cedis and 74 pesos. In 2022, that same e-levy, 2023, that same e-levy gave us 1,195,052,939 cedis and 96 pesos. In 2024, we made 1,848,837,106 Ghana cedis and 18 pesos. A total of e-levy since we started collecting it in 2022 is 3,687,243 million. 3,687,243,404 Ghana cedis and 88 pesos. Then you come to betting tax. That's the next tax type. 2021 we made nothing. 2022 we made nothing. But in 2023, when the GRA's own assessment came out, they said we had made 51,489,838.77. And then in 2024, we made 156,754,274 Ghana cedis and 46 pesos. A total of 208,244,113 Ghana cedis, 33 pesos. Then COVID 1% domestic tax, and the figures are there. I don't want to bore you. So there's COVID domestic tax that you pay the 1%, and then there's COVID import. When you go to the port and import things, you pay. We made all these monies. If you put the figures together, we got 11,218,692,000 65,329 Ghana cedis and 61 pesos. This is the Ghana Revenue Authority's tax revenue performance for selected tax types, according to Michael Fiaflu, who was president of all the tax people in Ghana at some point. Now, look at the second tax item, the tax type. So the 208,244,113 Ghana cedis, 23 pesos. Who chop them? Who collect them? Who eat them? That's the question on the streets that they want Dr. Adam in the second press conference for today to answer. Boys want their monies back. Boys want to know what were the monies used for? Is it betting tax? Is it lottery tax? Is it gaming tax? Is it investment tax? What tax was it? What tax really was it? Was there betting tax or was there no betting tax? That's what the boys on the street and the girls who also invest. I hear these days the girls, they invest more than the boys in the gaming thing and the betting thing. But they want to know. So was there? We want the former finance minister to come and answer this in the press conference that they promised to talk about today, right? We want them to come and answer. It's a simple question. Please call me 055-924-2717, 055-924-2717, and 055-691-0154. Good morning.